In the year 6 of the Meiji era, 1873, in the ruins of the village clan of Owari, today known as Toyama Park, in the neighborhood of Shinjuku, the Rikugun Toyama Gakko was established, the Toyama Academy of the Army. This academy specialized officers and sub-officers in the practice of shooting, physical training, close-quarter combat, and the use of the sword. It also prepared the musicians of the military orchestras. Its whole purpose from the beginning, the founding of the Toyama Academy, was that the Imperial Japanese Army could reach the same heights of training as the Western armies in the shortest time possible. In order to carry it out, they invited officers of the French army. In 1915, the Toyama Academy initiated an investigation project for a traditional Japanese sword fighting style, while they developed a military Japanese sword they could introduce within their army. For that, they invited several sword masters of different traditional schools, like Laijutsu, Kenjutsu, that came mainly from traditions such as Omori Ryu and Eishin Ryu. Between 1919 and 1920, they started to investigate in order to improve the fighting ability of close-quarter combat with a short sword or Tanken Jutsu. In 1925, Morinaga Kiyoshi, who was first lieutenant and director of the investigation committee for the technique with the sword, was in charge of helping to create a system with the use of the Japanese sword, with the sole objective of incorporating it as a subject within the academy. For this, he contacted the masters Zenya Kunji and the Nakayama Hakudo for their help in the completion of a system of sword techniques that could be used on the battlefield. The result, along with other former projects, was a codified system that was called initially Gunto Soho, and that consisted of 7 katas from a standing position. In January of 1942, a compendium was established titled The Intensive Training Manual of Gunto. The main goal of this intensive teaching was to teach the use of the Gunto to people with no prior training in Kenjutsu. After the defeat of Japan in the Second World War, the Allied forces occupied the country and traditional martial arts were banned. The Toyama Academy was closed, and the instruction of military sword techniques as a form of military instruction seemed to have disappeared. But after signing the peace treaty in 1952, there was a demand by many people, and traditional martial arts reappeared. The Toyama-Ryu was created after the war by old instructors of the Toyama Academy of the Army, such as Naonobu Uzawa, Yuki Yamaguchi, Kiyoshi Morinaga, and Taizaburo Nakamura. In 1976, the Toyama-Ryu Shinkokai Academy was founded. That was later named as the Zen Nihon Toyama-Ryu Laido Renmei. And in the year 2000, Hataya Sensei was elected by his peers as president. Today, the Zen Nihon Toyama-Ryu Laido Renmei is dedicated to the activities of promoting internationally martial arts and the Japanese culture through the teachings and trainings of the Toyama-Ryu Laido. Here are the 7 katas of Gunto Soho. The Jyunbi Taiso is the physical preparation codified in the soul of the Zen Nihon Toyama-Ryu laido Renmei. This warm-up will help wake up the muscles of the body so that you can move more loosely and carry out the practice of Toyama-Ryu without tension in the body. The first exercise is to balance out the arms in front of the body. The second exercise is bending the knees while you move the arms. The third exercise is rotating the arms forward and back. The fourth exercise is stretching the body laterally. The fifth exercise is moving forward and backwards, stretching the abdominal muscles and the lower back muscles. The sixth exercise is rotating the hip bones. The seventh exercise is rotating and turning the hip bones. The eighth exercise consists of jumping. The ninth exercise is bending and stretching the knees. Number 10 would be to bend and stretch the joints of your hip. The 11th exercise once more is to bend and stretch out the joints of your hips while you do this with more intensely. The 12th exercise is to rotate the joints of the knee. The 13th exercise is to stretch the Achilles tendons and also to warm up the wrist. At the beginning of the practice, you must hold the katana with the right hand in a way that the edge is towards the floor, and the order is as follows. First, you salute the altar or a representation where the different divinities are. You change the katana in a way that the handle is back towards the right hand. You obey at the order of Shinzen Nirei. You adopt a 30-degree angle inclination and hold this position for 3 seconds. Second movement is to salute each other and the master. You change the katana once more to the initial position and obey the order Otagai ni rei, mutual salutation, with a reverence of a 15-degree angle inclination and look to the front. The third salutation to the saber. The last order is to rei, salute the saber, holding the katana horizontally and keep it in the 15-degree inclination. The terms of practice must be changes following these orders. First, salute the saber with torei. Second, salute the altar with a shinzen nirei. Third, mutual salutation and to the master at the order of otagai nirei. Now we will practice the Suburi, or learning how to cut with a sword, which will help train the muscles and prepare them for the practice of iado. You must learn how to cut and where to cut with the sword. First, the security measures. Check the mekugi, or the fastener. You cut at the high level. At the medium level,
2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。下段。
At the low level.
2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。
Right cross cut.
それで
Left cross cut.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。今朝、逆今朝。
Left cross cut. Inverted right cross cut.
3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。今朝、逆今朝。
Right cross cut. Inverted left cross cut. Horizontal cuts.
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。音。映画の構え、右上段の構え、左上段の構え、右発想の構え、左発想の構え、下段、左脇構え、右脇構え。
In the study of Toyama-Ryu, you study different ways of sheathing the sword. These are the real forms of kata in the Toyama-Ryu that we work in the soul of the Sen Nihon Toyama-Ryu laido Renmei. application and analysis of the kata of the Toyama-Ryu. We attack the enemy who attacks us with Jiyaku Kesa when he comes close to us. As soon as the enemy goes back, we attack him with a right Kesa Giri. We strike the enemy who attacks us from the right with a syurui with one hand. We pressure him and we attack with a left Kesa Giri. As for the enemy who attacks us from the left, we must strike him with a thrust to the heart. The enemy will attack us vertically, right between the eyes. We receive the attack with a uki nagashi, and we strike him with a right kesagiri. When the enemy attacks us from behind, we pull our sword and use our kesagiri. Now the enemy pressures us. We go back and position ourselves with a strike with a right kesagiri. Bato and attack with Kesa the enemy in front of us. We pressure the enemy in front of us with a first step. We pull our sword to receive our enemy's strike from behind with a uki nagashi and cut him with a kesa. After, we cut vertically between our enemy's eyes. We strike the enemy who gets close with a right kesa, the enemy coming from the left with a kesa. Against the enemy in front of us, we use a thrust. For the enemy who is going to attack us, we anticipate and cut vertically right between the eyes. The tankendo means way of the short sword, and it's the use of the bayonet when taken off the rifle, or kodachi, or short sword. You can also use the same techniques for the tessen, or iron fan. The ends are made of metal. When we use it, we hold it like this. But now we will see a kata, and in this case we hold it like this. Since it is made of metal, it is very destructive. The kumitachi is the kata of two, and it was created by Nakamura Taisaburo Sensei. Each kumitachi teaches each student an attack and a defense at a different level. There are two roles in each kumitachi. Uchidachi is the attacker and initiates the confrontation. The shidashi is the defender, who must react with an aggressive defense followed by a counterattack. The kumitachi teaches the students how to measure the distance and how to anticipate the attacker's movements and react to different types of attacks. while uchidachi, the attacker, executes the attack with a nuki uchi suihei, horizontal cut, shidashi, who receives the attack, avoids the attack by stepping back and unsheathing his sword and attacking with a hidari kesagiri. After this, he redirects with kisaki to the enemy's throat. Uchidashi and shidashi are in front of each other in the chudan noma kamae position. They advance to bridge the distance or my eye. Just when uchidachi lifts his sword, the shidashi from the chudan no kamae position throws a thrust to his attacker's chest and then uses the hidari jodan no kamae position. When shidashi gets in the hidari jodan no kamae, the ushidashi takes a step back. The uchidashi and the shidashi are both in the chudan no kamae position. They advance to shorten the distance or my eye. While the ushidashi throws a thrust to the shidashi's chest and avoids the attack with a step backwards, the shidashi executes a hidari kesa from the kisaki position to the ushidashi's throat. While the ushidashi attacks executing mako giri from the hidari jodan kamae position, the shidashi avoids the attack, going to his right to attack with a suihei giri, finishing in the chudan no kamae position. While the ushidashi goes to attack from the migi haso no kamae position, the shidashi avoids the attack, going back with a step in order to avoid, and then advances to attack with the uchidashi executing a migi kesagiri. While the ushidashi attacks executing a maiko giri from the migi jodan kamae position, the shidashi avoids the attack, moving to his right, and then attacks executing a hidari kesagiri, finishing with a hidari jodan kamae position. details about the crossing of swords of the Toyama-Ryu.
1本目は内立ちが下立ちの
Both move at the same time.
えい
Once you have cut, the kisaki points at the throat.
喉につけます。刀に合わせ
When you have finished,
ここで
if the swords do not touch, then we do chiburi.
2本目
The second movement is done with bato.
切ろうと思って刀を上げます。すかさず引きます。
I get close to do Jodan Kamae, and at this instance we do a thrust to the throat. Here, he must not wait for me to lift my guard and do the thrust. As soon as I lift my hands, he has to thrust at the same time.
上段
He pressures me by positioning himself in Jodan Kamae, and I go down to Gedan Kamae.
とは構えをつけます。3本目は牛たちが血立ちを
On the third, we hold our look and we get closer.
その時に血立ちは内立ちの刀を触らないように体を体
And
験
without
して
touching swords, we position our bodies sideways and attack with kesa.
袈裟を切ります。
We do the same.
内立ちが
Guard
左上段
in
に構えます
Hidari Jodan.
血立ちは左上段に対
He
して
then points at my wrist with kisaki.
木先をつけます。3歩進んで
I advance to
面を
cut
切ります
at the eye level,
こちらの動きを
and just when I am going to move, we
三歩
move
下と同
our
時に血立ちは
kisakis at the same time.
同期
His cut will be lateral. I go, take a step back, and drop back into the initial position.
この時に
If the two kisakis do not move at the same time, it will not work.
これは先に動くと
If he goes first and I don't move, I will cut him.
こちらが正面を
If I go to cut and both kisakis move,
来たと同時に血立ちは同期です。
this is the explanation of sen no gosen.
説明です。右発想
He starts from the migi haso to cut and kesa. When I go to cut, he goes back and he attacks with kesa. We go back to Gedan Kamae. Migi Jodan, his kisaki is pointing at my wrist. I will attack with a mako giri. As he moves his body, he attacks with kesa. As he pressures me, I position myself in Jodan Kamae. We go back to execute kame, chiburi, and noto.
構えを取ります。あとはちぶり納刀です。
The Gekken is a combat with foam swords. It's not a sport, and it wasn't created for children. The foam swords are rigid and can be used to block correctly. This can make the combat quite hard. With an advanced level, you can start to use heavy protections and real steel swords without sharp edges in order to compete in the Gekken Championships of Japan. Hataya Sensei describes Gekken as the study of truth and false in sword fighting. In order to perfect the techniques, you study Gekken Kumitachi, that is a kata in pairs, and each Kumitachi is learnt in order for the student to learn an attack and defense or a counterattack at different levels. Cut with a kote. Exchange and cut vertically between the eyes. We cut vertically between the eyes. We touch and cut vertically again between the eyes. After the exchange, we strike with a kote. We cut with kesa. We touch, we cut vertically between the eyes. We touch, cut with a kote, touch, bring the sword down. We cut with a kote, we touch. We cut vertically between the eyes, we touch, cut vertically between the eyes, touch, and cut with kesa. When he lifts the sword and goes to strike, we receive with this shinogi, and we lift ours. Using the shinogi, we block. When we do this, we do not separate from his center line. We receive the strike with the edge of the sword and stab our enemy's body. To do this, we put ourselves laterally. The enemy comes to cut us from beneath our hand. When he comes to cut, we lower to Gedan Kamae. In Kiri Otoshi, when the enemy comes to cut us vertically between the eyes, we cross our swords, and with a turn of the wrist we deviate the enemy's sword with a shinogi, and his sword falls. I will attack him vertically between the eyes. He lifts his sword and attacks me vertically between the eyes. Lowers the kisaki to my throat. Tamishigiri is the technique used to demonstrate that a cut is effective. This practice became popular in the Edo period, or the 17th century, in order to prove the quality of the swords. This modality continues up to our days, and it's centered to prove the ability of the practitioner with a sword. In the Toyama-Ryu style, special emphasis was put on what was important in the Imperial Japanese Army School, and the doctrine of that era. A cut for a cut.
へい